that have come out already, and we still have a ways to go.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Federal polling continues to show a tight three-way race heading into the next election in October. Could Thomas Mulcair be the next Prime Minister, Larry?
Absolutely.
Larry?
Well, yeah, he could. I mean, I believe the polls. I especially trust Nick Nanos and his analysis. They've always been correct, at least for as long as I've been following him. And he's saying that the NDP are on the ascendancy. There's a bit of a roll there. Rachel Notley is in power, is having some problems. I think there's going to be a recession there. They have sent in Brian Topp, not so much, the NDP have sent him in, not so much to help Rachel, but to protect the interests of the federal party in Alberta. And, you know, to some extent, and, you know, my Liberal friends are going to crucify me for this, but there's this myth.
Can I come to the party?
There's this myth about the NDP being able to govern and do things well. Every time they've governed, they screw things up. Look at Ontario, look at the Atlantic provinces, look at British Columbia, look at the West. So they need a dose of power to make people understand that your party ruins governments, doesn't help
Larry,
governments, right?
Go ahead, it's your turn, Jessica.
I'm going to have to learn how to play the violin.
So much for those two times you agreed.
I do. Forget whatever I think I agreed with.
But it's true, though.
Absolute
Okay, tell me
nonsense.
why it's not true. Look at what happened.
Sorry, the question was that there's a three-way race.
Yeah. And
now Larry has just changed the question around.
Absolutely, just like any good Liberal, or, well, good or not so good Liberal. But Mulcair, yes, can be Prime Minister, because we've discovered that the NDP person, who is also the daughter of a previous NDP leader, can be the Premier of Alberta.
But can
There's
she,
a difference.
Stick that in your pipe and
between
smoke
becoming
it.
But can she do it successfully?
Doing something, just like you're saying, there is a difference between winning an election and getting re-elected, and I think that's the problem that the NDP have. They can get elected, and it's usually
nobody
during
knows
times
better
of
than about
turbulence.
getting re-elected in Alberta than the Conservatives.
But at least,
the last 2
at
years
least we
have
have
been fascinating.
You can let me talk now.
44 years of government, and the last 2 years were such a mess. They still thought they were going to win.
They did think they were going to
Tara,
win,
go
and
ahead.
you won this last election, and unfortunately Alberta is going to have to pay the price for 4 years, and then they will reconsider. Maybe they'll go back to the Conservatives, maybe to the Liberals, but definitely not the NDP. The NDP is going to have a major issue keeping Quebec. Right now, I believe that support is going to be falling by the wayside.
I
And if you
do
don't
not
have
believe
Quebec,
that.
you will
I was
not
in Quebec
have Canada.
2 weeks ago, and what is happening and I was surprised, I didn't even solicit
The Conservatives are up in
what
Quebec.
I am hearing would suggest we're holding extremely well.
Trudeau
in
is
Quebec.
down, Harper is up,
well.
the NDP are going down.
Is the orange wave, though, is it about policy or is it a protest vote?
Well, it is a bit of both, I think, right? So they're going out and they're you know, a chicken in every pot and 2 cars in every garage. They're giving everything they possibly can give. They're going to reinstate mail delivery. Every populist idea that Mulcair can think of, he is voicing right now. And Harper is not popular. The media is after Harper. The media is very critical of Harper. Harper, though, is playing a very strategic game. He's a very smart guy. And he's saying, if I can get these two parties, the NDP and the Liberals, these two parties, the NDP and the Liberals, to go head-to-head, split the vote, I'll come out the middle. The thing
that's interesting is, yes, they may be running away from the Conservatives, but let's look at who's in the House. 3 times the number of seats that the Liberals